Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. We're going to take a look at a cheap wireless system that you can get on Amazon. It's UHF. It's actually made by a company, or sold by a company at least, called Ttstar on Amazon. And currently right now, these are selling for $56.99. And if you order it within the next 5 hours and 39 minutes, you can have it by Monday, May 15th. Of course, by the time you guys watch this video, that could be over with. Who knows? But do check Amazon.ca or probably even Amazon.com. Now, being this is UHF, it's not on the 2.4 gigahertz band or the 5 gigahertz band. It's UHF, ultra high frequency. And I was looking at these before, and I read a number of reviews. Some good, some say they're a little noisy. I guess we're going to find out. So, spoiler alert though, I've already opened these and fully charged them so that we get the best results. But I got these at North Bay Hawk Exchange. They had a pile of wireless systems in there in the boxes. And I thought, well, you know what, for 29 bucks, that's a good deal. Considering these haven't even been used. So, at least they don't appear to have been. Because, I mean, even that hasn't even been gotten into yet, which is a cable that comes with it that you can use. It's a mini stereo to TRS jack. And I don't know what the heck we'd ever use that for except for plugging into maybe an auxiliary port on something. We do, of course, get our little user manual that guides us through things. And, of course, the charge cable is still brand new in the wrapper, not even touched. So, hey, for 29 bucks, how do you say no? Now, I'm quite happy and content with my Line 6 system at home. It works absolutely flawless. I've had zero issues with it, unlike my Boss system. Doesn't want to work at home. We figure it's our internet service that's the issue. We've tried everything else except for shutting down that. And, it kind of boils down to that's got to be the issue for some reason with the Boss. Anyways, so these have, they say 280-degree rotation. So these will fit in like Stratocasters, Telecasters, a number of different guitars. They might, because of the length of the shaft, even work in some of those Ibanez's. You never know. But we do have transmitter and receiver. And we just turn them on. And they're already set up from the factory. Default channel right now is on channel 5. And we can turn the channels up and down through the little clicker buttons. And these actually use a, what are these? Micro USB. Okay, so we got transmitter and receiver, both clearly marked. Let's plug them in, see what happens. Oh, that's our, and I'm guessing this is our power indicator. Tells us how many bars we have. So I have not tried these out yet. I have no idea what to expect. So this is definitely going to be interesting. Wow, that's dead quiet. Alright, let's get a pick. Well, it's only fair we do a bit of an indoor range test at least, so we'll see how well these things go through walls and everything else in the structural building of a house. decent. My guitar's out a little bit though. I haven't played the Les Paul for a little while, so yeah, it's out a little bit. Look at that, we actually played decently and out of tune yet. It's dead clean. So, don't know what one or two people were talking about that these things have noise to them because they're like dead quiet. So I walked all the way to the other end of our apartment, so around the corner and down the ways, over 30 feet away, probably closer to 40 actually, and hassle free. No, I personally didn't hear any farts or glitches. I'll have to review the video, but I did not personally hear any farts or glitches coming out, no latency. So, I mean, it's just play, and it was fine. And it just dead silence. And that's a good thing because, you know, you got to have a wireless system that's going to work for you. I mean, these things are definitely made out of plastic. I mean, you can tell they're kind of cheapy feeling, right? But for $56, even brand new, I definitely recommend them if you're looking for a cheap wireless system. And being on the UHF band at least, and you do have 15 channels you can go through, so they even say you can have literally all 15 channels taken up by 15 of these sets for 15 instruments, and yeah, that's it. After that, you repeat, and yeah, then you got a problem. But up to 15 at once, so that's pretty good with no conflicts. Kind of like that idea. That's awesome. I like the digital display readout because, like I said, this is it's going to be our battery level indicator to tell us how much battery power we have, so we can always, take a look at it. We can even rotate it up toward us if we wanted to while playing and keep an eye on the battery. But they say you should get, I think they said about 6 hours or something out of this thing. Let me just take a quick little boot here as far as the thing here. 131 feet with no obstacles. 65 feet distance would be better for output sound quality, low noise, and latency. Well, I don't even get any noise. And the latency, well, if it's there, you can't hear it. 15 sets of musical instruments working at the same time. Rechargeable, obviously, yes. What else have we got? 6 hours. About 6 hours. They say about 6 hours of runtime. So now we already know that transmitters generally die before the receivers anyways, because the transmitter is doing all the work. The receiver is just receiving the incoming signal. So it doesn't do as much work as the transmitter does. So yeah, you definitely would have that. Now it doesn't talk about any kind of sleep mode or anything on the website. I don't even think the manual discussed any of that either. It isn't really small print. Where is it? There we go. So, well, when you have less than 25% of the battery left, they tend to flash at the same time. So transmitter and receiver, I take it. And battery indication. Is that volume? No. Okay, so I'm curious. Well, I'll be darned. That is actually a volume control on there. Okay. And then it's set at 5 and it goes to 8. So how do you change channels? Yeah, it actually says volume up and down. Frequency range 570.5 to 598. Oh, I guess it's long press on volume down. Hold transmitter for 2 seconds to switch frequency mode. Okay, so you use the volume controls to actually press and hold. It says long press volume down button of the transmitter for 2 seconds to switch to frequency mode, and the C ... dash shows the displaying current frequency. At this time, press the positive and negative buttons to change the frequency. After switching to desired frequency, continue long press for 2 seconds to cut back to volume mode. Well, ain't that sick? Dual features, 2 buttons. I like that. When the power is less than 10%, the system will be shut down to protectively, and the display will be shut off. So when flashes, press shut down and charge in time. How to view the current power. When the transmitter and receiver are in standby mode for about 10 seconds, the screen display will switch to power display. So, yeah, those are power indicator lights, the little dots. And we do have gain control through this. That's actually really cool. That's neat. All right. You can use this with electric guitar, keyboard, bass guitar. I wonder, will it get noisy though with an acoustic guitar? So let me just mute my amp here for a second. Because I think that, you know, I mean, if you're going to buy a wireless system, you need one that'll work with both, right? Now, of course, nobody actually said anything that I did read, because I didn't read all 400 reviews, obviously. But nobody I know of said anything about acoustic guitar use. But we definitely have confirmed these are not noisy. So the guy must have gotten a bad set or something. Okay, now I switch this over to my acoustic guitar. They are quiet. All right. I'm in, man. I'm digging this set. Well, for me, I guess, guys, that's the best 30 bucks I could ever spend. And they were brand new in the box, so there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just grab this one here. All right. So right now they're definitely in battery elimination mode. Tells us, you know, we're still at a full charge, obviously. Now, as far as the rest of them goes, the power switch feels good. The buttons, they feel pretty decent, you know, overall. As far as the main units go, I probably wouldn't drop them onto concrete or a hard floor. You may experience an issue because they do feel like cheap plastic. So I would say that if you're looking for your very first wireless set, I wish they would have had these when I got my Joyos. Now, I still have my very first Joyo set here. And these still currently sell for $100. And I've had these for several years now. You could actually go on my channel and find out exactly when I got my very first set of Joyos, because I've had a few sets. This is my original set, and what happened, why there's a wire hanging out here, is the charge port on this gave up the ghost. This one still works perfect for the charge port, but this one didn't. So I just took a wire and I hot wired the battery to this. So this way I have a separate charger that I actually use for RC batteries, and I can just plug it in with this connector and the charger shuts off when the battery's charged. And these still work really good, but these I know do actually have a bit of noise to them. And they're a little bit of a pain as far as, interference and changing those channels around. It does have interference switches and binding buttons to change something, but you don't really know what's going on either. This at least has a full digital display, tells you what channel you're on. You do have volume gain on this, which is really nice. So if you are putting out too much to your amp that you may think, you can haul it back, or you can boost it up if you wanted to put more front end power to the front end of your amp. You can do that too, I suppose. So that's a nice thing. So there's some really good features here, and having 15 channels accessible and no interference with the UHF, that's actually good. Even the range is surprisingly good on these things. I mean, even the Joyos, they'll get you 100 feet. But when I first got these, I didn't realize that, there was actually the noise. First time in my life ever having wireless. It was different, and I guess it depends on your amp and your amp settings how much you would notice of that. But you do definitely notice the noise more so on the Joyo when you're on a distortion type effect, which that will make these more present. Where my Boss system, they're dead quiet, but they're more of a professional system than these will ever be. And then I've had other wireless systems since, which we've got on the channel. And but I bought these today for $29, and I got to tell you, they're worth every penny for the $30. They're definitely worth every penny for what are these things right now? Did we say they're like $50 some, $56.99. Now, as far as Amazon reviews goes, it has an average star rating of 4.1 out of 5. Well, hey, you know what? I'm going to say that these things should actually deserve. Now, keep in mind, we're not talking for professional use here, although I am going to try them in church. But when it comes to professional, no. These are not for professionals. These are great for your very first wireless system. And you're guaranteed no interference from 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi stuff, which we all have a ton of that stuff around, right? Our phones, our tablets, our computers, our internet system coming in. It's on the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands, right? I guess depending on your system, but either way, any Wi-Fi you have, you got 2.4 and 5 gigahertz to worry about. And sometimes you can have some issues, which we clearly have found that with our new internet service we have now, it's powerful enough that it's actually interfering with the Boss, where our old system, slow as snot, man. Oh, I do not miss Rogers. Okay? We live out in the country. I do not miss Rogers. That system never interfered with my Boss, ever, right? So if there was a problem, there was definitely a problem with the units, right? And those things, you can beat the snot out of them. You can almost whip them into brick walls and they'll still live and play. This, on the other hand, cheaper plastic. Definitely do not recommend, throwing these things around like they're, like as if they were quality built, because they're semi-quality built, okay? I mean, they're decently made. They will last you as long as you take care of them. They will last you probably a good long time, okay? And at the price they cost, when the batteries do give up the ghost, chuck them in the garbage or the recycle, actually. And just go buy another set. I mean, for $56, I paid like $300 for my Boss set almost. Well, I guess by the time you get taxes in there, I'm up around $300. And I just popped out another $230 or something, $230 on sale yet for my Line 6 system, which, by the way, the Line 6, like I said, it's awesome in here. But I like this sort of style too, for the portability, because it's transmitter receiver, both batteries, nothing else extra to worry about. I like this sort of thing. And I got to tell you, like I said, the one or two people that complained about any noise, I have no idea what they're doing or what kind of amps or guitars they're dealing with, but we have no noise. These things are crystal clear. So very impressed. So what's my take on it? 4.5. Okay, but keeping in mind, these are not for professional use. They're not going to withstand that kind of torture. For me, using these in church, if I wanted to use them full time in church, it wouldn't be a big deal for me for doing that. But if I was going to go out gigging all the time, and I would take the Boss system because I know that I can drop them and they're not going to break. You know what I mean? These things, I'd be a little concerned that something may just happen if you drop them on the hard floor. So no, we're not doing a drop test. But yeah, and as far as the accessories go with this cable here, that's a nice little added accessory that we get. Although I'm not sure. Well, actually, no, I could plug this into my piano because I do have an auxiliary in, so I could do that. But I don't know how much output I'd get. We definitely know it works with acoustic guitars. So if you have an acoustic guitar, right, you're going to have a preamp in there likely, like I do. It runs off a battery. It's clean. It worked, right? So that's encouraging. Now, as far as active pickups go, somebody is definitely going to ask about active pickups because some of you guys out there and girls, I know you've got active pickups in your guitars. Now, here's the deal. It doesn't say anything here about active pickups. And I don't even think the manual would, does it even say anything about it? I don't see where there would be a problem myself, but you never know, right? Okay, so, yeah, one side is in, oh, it's all English. I'd imagine you probably could go with active pickups only because you do have that volume control. And active pickups put out a lot of power, so you could actually dial it back to clean up the sound maybe. Because they do show like electric guitar, bass guitar, they show a keyboard here. A keyboard would work along the same type of principle as a active pickup in a guitar, right? But those preamps are generally pretty much turned up on those pickups. So, I don't know. My theory, give it a shot and see what happens. I mean, look at it this way. It's either going to work fine for you or it's not. We definitely know that it works on an acoustic guitar with a preamp, which I can push more signal to. So I don't see the issue with active pickups in that sense. And we definitely know on passive pickups, right? So non-active works perfect too. So clean as a whistle. So I imagine they should technically work with active pickups in your guitar or bass. So just give it a try. Besides, it's Amazon. What do you got to lose? If they don't sound right and you have active pickups, you can always send them back. You know, Amazon does have that return window time period on their items that you can take advantage of. So make sure you test them out right away on your equipment. Make sure they work fine. Do charge them up fully first before trying them, because in this way at least you know where the battery power level is, because they're generally in a storage charge mode, which means there's not going to be a lot of runtime there, you know, so you want to definitely consider making sure they're fully charged either way first. Anyhow, that's it. 4.5 out of 5. Fair enough. Okay. You know what they're good for. You know what I don't recommend them for. I'm definitely going to use these in church. I'm going to try them out this Sunday and see how they do in the church, because I know we do have a hearing system in the church that's on UHF. Also, all of our wireless headsets are on UHF, so it should be interesting to see if this interferes with that stuff. So, because these would be, well, actually, what channel are these things on from default anyway? They're on channel 5, so 05. That's not anywhere near what our systems are on church, because they're all in the secondary list band. So yeah, these shouldn't have any issues with any of our current UHF stuff in the church, so that should be good. So we're going to find out, though. But I'll probably give you guys an update review. I don't know when, maybe in a couple of weeks after I've really putting them through their paces quite a bit and used them on a daily basis, and I'll let you know how things go. So in the meantime, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll definitely be sure to catch you on the next one. See ya.